welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Hoops with Noops. Of course, I am Alex Noops Christensen, and I'm brought to you by the fine folks at FTN. If you haven't already signed up, take a look at the ticker below. There's a discount code for you, so you get access to all the great tools, articles, access to the Discord, which I talk about all the time. And of course, you get all my bets and bets from tons of other sharp guys as soon as we can possibly put them out. Again, by the time you're watching this, I've already put this bet out in the Discord, and hopefully it hasn't moved, but sometimes it does. I think we're pretty good today, but make sure you sign up. You get everything. It not only is going to make you a sharper bettor, but it just makes everything easier. Again, if you want to learn how to bet, you want to learn how to engage with models, tons of things for you can use. If you're just looking for something simple, some guidance on what picks to make, that's there. It's everything you could want. So sign up now. And of course, before we get started, I have to ask, hit that thumbs up button down there below and make sure you subscribe to this channel. You get all of FTN's great free content as quickly as possible. Tons of great shows and things, even if you haven't signed up. Of course, you should. But for now, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. It helps us in everything that we do. Now, on to the basketball. That's why we're here today. We've got 5 NBA Cup games for us tonight. Again, I wish there were some more, but there's some pretty solid games. I've got one that I like and have a bet in. We'll start with that one, but then I'll break down the other 4 and not for Noops. Just try to give you a little bit of lay of the land, what I'm thinking, what I might be waiting for, because there probably will be some additions later today. Of course, those will go into the FTN Bets Discord. But for now, let's start with the first game, the last game of the night, oddly enough. But the Los Angeles Lakers visit the Phoenix Suns. The Suns 2.5-point favorites. The total sits at 235. This number's bounced between 2.5 and 3 kind of all day. Again, the Suns favorites here. Kevin Durant returning for the first time in a few weeks, as is Bradley Beal. Both of them are healthy tonight, so you've got a full Phoenix Suns squad going up against a Lakers team that's been pretty solid. Actually, the third matchup between these teams so far. Both the home teams won in those first games. And again, some pretty good contests. So you start to look here, the last game they played in Phoenix, the Suns closed 4.5-point favorites. So the market here making a little bit of adjustment. I assume the Lakers have been playing better since then. That's probably a point or so. And then maybe the other point being that even though Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal are back, it's their first game. So you have some questions about their physical ability. Now, historically, Durant has come back in great shape and has had some really good games in his returns. Beal, again, going back, hasn't really struggled coming back. As long as they're pretty close to, even 80%, I think this number makes sense. And there might even be a little bit of value on the Suns. However, hard to say and hard to know. So I'm not going for the spread here, but what I like is the total. I'm going under here, 235. It's a number where I take a look at the games today. My model basically spits out numbers that are pretty close to the openers. This game opened about 230.5, 231. I'm a little above 230, call it 230 if you will. This number's gotten bet up as well as 3 of the other 4 games tonight. You go back and look at the NBA Cup so far this year. Overs are 21 and 13. So a pretty solid number, but a relatively small sample size. And I start to look at some of the underlying data. I think, again, that there's more to this number here. I don't know if necessarily what I'm saying is, and what the market should be doing, is betting all these games over like they have. Pace is picked up by about a possession in these NBA Cup games, but the defensive rating is better for pretty much every team. Now, if you go team by team, you can see some pretty big swings. There are teams that play much faster, but there are also teams that play slower. These are 2 teams that do play slower. The Suns' pace is down, I think, about a possession and a half. In these NBA Cup games, or the Lakers' pace comes down a couple possessions. Again, these teams sort of lock down. The idea is to try to play better defense, play possessions for higher margin here, because that port differential matters quite a bit. So it's kind of what I'm expecting tonight. And, I look at the total of the first 2 games, 227.5 and 229.5. Again, I'm just barely over 230, which puts me in range with that, even with some adjustment for how things have picked up overall in the league. So everything to me points towards this number being 230, and we get a chance to go under 235. That's a really nice edge for me. So I like that quite a bit. Give me under 235 in this game. Now, we've got 4 other games. Just want to kind of walk you through, give you a general idea of what I'm thinking and what I might be doing later. Again, of course, if you want to see that and all my bets as quickly as possible, sign up for FTN. Check the ticker down there below. We'll start with the Chicago Bulls. They go to visit the Washington Wizards. The Wizards 4.5-point underdogs. The total sits at 245.5. this game should just be wild. The pace should be absolutely as fast as it could be. Both these teams play faster in NBA Cup games. The Bulls struggle to guard really good point guards. If Jordan Poole can play tonight, Bilal Coulibaly, whoever that is going to be the lead guard for Washington, should have a good night. At the same time, Vucevic matches up well here, as does most of the other Bulls players. There should just be points in bunches. But I go back and look at some of my underlying numbers. And again, I'm pretty close to where this market opened, around 242, 243, somewhere in that range. I just think this number is a little bit too high, even though I would never bet the under. So I'm going to pass on this one. Might find some props later. Again, a lot of it depends on whether Jordan Poole is in or out. Milwaukee Bucks go to Miami to play the Heat. The Heat just 2-point favorites, the total 222.5. Everybody playing in this game, except for, of course, Chris Middleton. He continues to be out. Not sure when he'll be back, but Lillard and Giannis is healthy for the Bucks. Everybody's good to go for Miami. Should be a fun game. My model shows a little bit of value on Milwaukee here. I would have them about 1-point favorites, but I just don't like the situational spot for them. The Heat have been really good against them historically. Spoelstra understands how to set up a defense that really slows down Giannis and forces the ball out of his hands. Now, that could mean tonight should be a good night for Damian Lillard, but Terry Rozier comes back tonight. Not that, anybody is great at guarding Dame Lillard, but Rozier can do a decent job. And at the same time, Tyler Hero should be able to push the other guards. So I kind of like the matchup for Miami, even though my model shows some value in the Bucks. No play for me here. Again, just not really confident in either team. Neither the Bucks nor the Heat have played terribly well, but lean towards Miami tonight, although my numbers push me the other way. So I'm definitely not going to bet that. This is a game I'm close to betting, but we're going to wait and see what Jalen Green does here, as well as Mike Conley. The Houston Rockets go to Minnesota to play the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves 3.5-point favorites. This has moved around 4.5 during the day. Again, Jalen Green is questionable, as is Mike Conley. Not too worried about Jalen Green. Again, would rather him be in as someone that's thinking about backing the Rockets. But even if he's out, and Mike Conley is out, I like Houston here. Conley is a big piece for Minnesota. They really don't have a good backup point guard or ball handler. DiVincenzo does an okay job. Anthony Edwards can bring the ball up and initiate a little bit. Rob Dillingham has really struggled as a rookie. There's just not another guy there that can do what Conley does, and I think it limits them offensively, and that's a situation that's good for Houston. They have enough wings here to kind of throw in at Anthony Edwards to slow him down and make this game ugly. A game that they, I think, again, can keep close. And if Jalen Green is in and Conley's out, or if really just Conley's out, I like Houston here, and we'll probably bet them. So keep an eye on the FTN Bets Discord. I'll put that in the NBA channel if and when I do bet it. Finally, the San Antonio Spurs go to Utah. The Jazz 2.5-point underdogs. The total 224.5. Wembanyama's playing. Lauri Markkanen's playing. It could be a fun game. It's always fun watching Wembanyama, but just don't see any value really either way. Utah's been pretty solid at home. They are healthy. Walker Kessler's back. Maybe look at some props on this one. But again, all my numbers here come out close, and we'll see if Wembanyama again can raise his game. He has seemed to care about some of these NBA Cup spots, but overall, I think the market's right. This should be a close game. Maybe a few more points in this, but San Antonio actually plays pretty slow. For as much as the ball's moving while it's on offense, those possessions are long. So the total, again, makes sense to me. No value here. But again, the value I do see is in the Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns total. Just too high for me. Under 235. Really, any number 234 or higher is a good bet for me. So take that, and be sure, again, you sign up for FTN, and would really appreciate it if you gave me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and happy Thanksgiving. I hope you really enjoy it. I'll be back with another video next week. Best of luck until then.